Hi guys, how are you? I'm hoping you guys can hear me. Give me a wave. Let me know that you can hear what I'm saying today. I think I say this nearly every session. But I hope you guys have had a bit more sleep than me. I'm a bit tired today. It's been a long night. I've got lots going on. Nothing overly exciting, but you know, 3 monkeys, all of those type of things. A little bit less sleep than I would like at the moment, but we will get there. We will get there. So give me a wave. Let me know that you're watching. Today I'm going to, rather than set you a challenge as such like I have the last couple of weeks, I'm going to show you some of my nature collection and hopefully give you guys some ideas of things that you can go and explore now that the weather's picking up and that you can get outside a little bit more. Now, some of these things are going to be using natural objects. Some of these things are using man-made objects to represent nature. So I'm going to give you a combination of different things that you can have a go at home as well. Now, one of the first things, easy for our tots to explore and always really entertaining the first time they explore this, is grass. Now that it's getting warmer outside, we can go outside on the grass. And it's amazing when we put our babies, Bella doesn't do it because she doesn't have tummy muscles, but when we put our babies' feet on the grass for the first time, they nearly always lift their feet up like this. It's really funny. So if you haven't yet got your little one and taken them out to the grass and pretended to stand them on the grass, and it's warm enough where you are today, have a go. It's really funny. So that's the first thing that we can do to help them explore nature. But whilst I'm getting a few bits out of my box, I've brought my box of goodies with me today. Why do we explore nature? Well, a lot of our toys these days are plastic and man-made, and they're very cold to the touch, shall we say. Plastic, quite a cold surface. Whereas we tend to find our natural objects have an inbuilt warmth to them. Even when they feel cold, they don't feel icy cold like plastic does. So it's quite a nice thing for our tots to explore. The other thing with our natural objects is they're not all smooth, soft and fluffy like a lot of the baby things that we surround our babies with. So the first thing I'm going to show you is, what should we find in my box of goodies? Okay, so things that you might be able to find where you are. Have you found any pine cones recently? Now, this is a really titchy one, and you'd obviously want to watch your little one while they're exploring this, but great for little fingers to explore, get into those nooks and crannies and have a look. I should have some bigger ones in here as well. You might find that you have things like the wooden curtain rings that you're no longer using. Stacking those up, letting them have a play with this is great. It is great for their dexterity to be able to explore lots of little surfaces and get how those work. So it will really work those finger muscles. So great for their physical development, but also great for them just to have and explore. Now, the other thing you can do with this, I'm going to use my rolling pin to show you, but if you've got something like a mug tree, if you've got loads of rings, getting them to start popping them on and off is really good for hand-eye coordination. So great for our older ones as well. But often our little ones will enjoy watching you do it, and it can make great sounds as well. So finding lots of different objects that are all made out of natural substances, don't have to be traditional toys. So like, for example, rolling pin, some rings, and our tots will naturally turn them into toys. So just giving them some objects, have a look around the house, see what you can find that are wooden or natural objects. It doesn't have to all be wood, but we do use a lot of wood. So we've got this. What else do we have? Even things like my lemon reamer. Great different sensation for them. Got some sharper edges, but not sharp enough to hurt them, but sharp edges. So great for them to explore with this. You can get hold of things like this. My giant bean pod. Look how big that is. And it makes a great sound. So you can find things like this. This one's just off Amazon. Nowhere that exciting. But and when the shops open again, you will find these in some of the African type shops. They're great for those. So these are fantastic. What else do I have in here? Some of you will have these type of wicker balls as decorations, or the bigger ones. Our tots love these. These are so popular with our tots. So having, if you've got any of these, grab some that you're happy for your tot to destroy, because they do love mouthing them as well, because it's a great sensation. When they're teething, they'll especially enjoy chewing on them as well. So make sure that they're pretty dust free, give them a dust over. But yeah, they love these. Now, sometimes you might find that what you want them to play with, you can't find a natural option of it, but you can still explore nature using some man-made items. Things like these pretend leaves. So you can still explore the concept of leaves and our autumn colours. So don't feel that, oh, I don't want them to play with real leaves yet. You can still start exploring some of those natural patterns and shapes, just using some other objects as well. Now, I also have, you can get hold of things like this. This is my starfish. And again, this is another real popular one with our tots, because it's quite an interesting shape. So they want to explore it. It's got, I don't know if you can see the little bubbles on top as well. So it's got lots and lots of different textures for them to explore. So when you're having a look around your house for all those natural items that you can find, have a look for how many different textures and shapes and sensations that you're going to be able to let your tot have. So I'd love to see pictures later on after you've had an explore of all the different things that you could find. Maybe you've got some leather cushions or some leather shoes, you've got some woolen items, some knitted items, some pine cones, lots of wooden items. I'm sure you can find lots of wooden items around your house. But if you want something a little bit more creative to explore nature, if you've got something like feathers, but you're not ready for your little one to actually manhandle feathers, you can start letting them explore them visually by popping them in something like a bottle so that they can see them. And then you can take them out or have some to the side that you stroke your little one with, so that you're in control of how much interaction they're having with those items that you may be a little bit more sensitive about them or cautious about them putting in their mouth. So there are always ways around how our tot can engage with things. You can also make things like this. So if you've got, especially if you've got older tots, making sensory bottles that represent different aspects that we're exploring as well. So we always try and have a few different sensory bottles that go with our collection. So this one's got my froggies in it in their swamp. So I've just got some green and yellow Orby beads, which are easy to get hold of on Amazon or eBay. I've got some plastic frogs and I've just popped them in my bottle so it looks like they're swimming in the swamp. You can also get things like the aquarium jellyfish. So there's my jellyfish. Can you see my jellyfish swimming around? He's always very popular as well. So he's going to swim up to the top. It takes him a little while, so it encourages him to move it around and then help him move around. So that's got my jellyfish in. I quite like this one, my jellyfish one. You can also have a look at other concepts using our sensory bottles. So for example, this one's my day bottle. You can see it's got some rainbows in, it's got some clouds and a nice blue sky. So this is my daytime bottle. And then I have my nighttime bottle. So this one's got my twinkly stars in and the black rice to represent nighttime. So we can look at nature in lots of different ways. It doesn't just have to be those natural items, but just looking and helping our tots explore the big world around them, the natural world. So things like day and night. We had our froggies and the jellyfish to represent like water. Then you could have a look at land animals as well. I've got my seascape bottle as well with my blue Orbeez and some shells in there that move around. There we go. Oh, I'm glad you're liking the sensory bottles, Bobby. They're really easy to make. And I've got two more sensory bottles that you might like as well. And these are the smelly ones. So often in nature, things have a natural smell. So I've got some eucalyptus pods in here. I don't know how well you can see that. So it's some gum nuts in there. And then I've put some eucalyptus oil on it as well. So give it a puff and you get a really strong sense of smell pushed up your nose. So just a few drops of essential oil on there. Give it a puff, and especially if they've got colds, great one for that. And this one's just some potpourri, so lots of different dried items in there. And again, if these ones, you just pop the sports bottle, give it a puff, and they get a lovely sense of smell as well. So you could do that if you've got some herbs growing in your garden and you've got some of these bottles and you're doing a nature exploration this week. It is a fantastic one, and their face just lights up because they haven't learned to sniff in that sense yet to pick what they smell, the smelly sensory bottles are fantastic for that. So with these, if you're doing fresh things, just make sure that you empty out when you're finished. Just give it a rinse out, let them dry, and you can use them again. But you could do things like your fruits and vegetables as well. Something that has quite a strong smell that we often forget about is cucumber. Cucumber has quite a strong, distinct smell. So pop some cucumber sticks in there as well. Or even if you're at that stage where you're happy for them to start exploring food, whether you're weaning or not, you don't have to be weaning to be able to do food play. What I would say, if you're pre-weaning food play, is make sure those items are big enough that they can mouth it, but without it going down. So nice, big, long chunks of a whole cucumber would be really good for a tot to play with, because they can mouth it and they'll still get the flavors, but they're not actually going to be eating it, and they'll get all the smells as well. So you can have a look at that as well. What else do we have in here? Oh, I've got lots of bits. Who has a loafer? Do you have things like loafer? Preferably a clean one that you haven't yet used. These are great. They have a really interesting texture. But as you can see, there's lots of things in here. I can look in here. Oh, this has got my big ones. So this has got my big pine cone. As you can see, lots of little gaps for little fingers to go and explore in. A little bit rough, so we're not exploring soft, smooth, and fluffy all the time. Now, I must admit, there are some bits and pieces in here that I managed to pick up back home, which are amazing. Do you like this one? How big is that? That's my giant gum nut. Can you see it? So a normal gum nut is about this big. I think this one's a little bit big, but you can get things like this, and these are great. Again, because they're bigger than our normal gum nut types of tree nuts, they're nice and easy. We don't have to, they can still mouth it. These have been cleaned quite thoroughly. But you can find things like this. So if you find pine cones and things like that at, when you're out and about and you want to give them a good clean, the easiest way of doing it is get some rice, put it in a container, and give it a good shake, because the rice will get into all the nooks and crannies and get out any dirt. It's not going to be sterile, but they're never going to be. But if you want to just clean all the loose dirt and everything out, as I say, some rice, put it in a container, give it a good gentle shake so you're not breaking it apart, but it'll help get all those loose bits of dirt out. And then just put it, I always put mine in a nice, warm, dry place for a while, just to make sure that there's nothing living in there, no creepy crawlies. They've had plenty of time to find new homes and things like that. So these always get put to one side for quite a long time before the tots enjoy them. But yeah, I would love to find out what you guys come up with that you can make, either sensory bottles that you've made at home or some other natural items that you can find. And always my firm favorite, buy them in bulk, is the wooden spoon. If you're really struggling to find a natural item for your tot to play with, give them a wooden spoon. They will be busy all day. These are great for chewing. Teething babies love them. Nice, flat, broad surface to bite down on. They love tapping them on things. If you've got two of them, give them two. Our younger ones, we tend to find, will hold on to the big flat section. Much easier for them to hold on to. Our older ones that are getting much better with their grip will tend to hold them this way. But these are amazing. These are the world's best baby toy. So if you're struggling, just give them a spoon. But I'm going to sign off because I can hear my monkeys in the background starting to get a bit excited. So I better go round them back up. I know they want to go and play under the sprinkler. So I'm going to go find the sprinkler for them, put that on so they can go and enjoy some nice fresh air and hopefully wear themselves out so they get a good night's sleep and I get a little bit more sleep tonight. I hope you guys are well. Give me a wave, give me some love, and I shall see you all soon. Now, for those of you that are in my VIP group, I am back in the VIP group at 11 o'clock with a really fun how to make today. So if you're part of that, see me over there. If you're not part of that and you would like to know more, make a comment and I will get in touch with you, because this is our last week of our May VIP group. Next week we start our June one for even more fun. So if I'm not already seeing you in the VIP groups or in weekday classes and you would like to join me for some more mad fun, comment, I will be in touch. See you, bye-byes. Keep playing, keep safe, bye-byes.